Your immune system is not just a defense, it's a full-scale war machine. A relentless, highly trained army of billions. It patrols your blood, your tissues, every cell and fluid scanning, tracking, and, if necessary, eliminating. Its job? To find anything that isn't you and destroy it without mercy. It does this every second of every day, without rest, without hesitation. Viruses, bacteria, mutated cells, no matter the intruder, your immune system is ready to kill. And it does. Brutally. But what if it gets it wrong? What if this ruthless system, this guardian of life, suddenly decides that you are the threat? That's not a metaphor. That's autoimmunity. It's not science fiction. It's not rare. It's a real betrayal. A terrifying twist of biology. One that turns your strongest protector into your most dangerous enemy. Instead of fighting off invaders, your immune system begins attacking your own tissues. Cells that are healthy, innocent, vital to your survival. Suddenly, the lines blur. There's no foreign invader. No virus. No enemy. Just you. And yet, your body goes to war anyway. That's how autoimmune diseases begin. And they come in many forms, some manageable, some disabling, some fatal. Type 1 diabetes, lupus, multiple sclerosis, Crohn's disease, celiac, psoriasis. More than 100 different names, different symptoms, different targets. But one core truth unites them all. Your body is under siege from itself. Imagine a country whose fighter jets bomb their own hospitals, whose snipers target doctors and school teachers, whose army levels its own cities thinking they've been overrun by enemies that don't exist. That's what autoimmunity is, not a malfunction, a misfire of catastrophic proportions. And the worst part? You may never see it coming. Because it doesn't start with pain or fever, it starts with one tiny mistake, one rogue cell, one silent decision that turns everything upside down. So how does this happen? Why would evolution allow this kind of betrayal to even exist? Let's find out. To understand how autoimmunity begins, we need to start with shape. Because at the most fundamental level, life is shape. Your body is made up of proteins, tens of thousands of them. Tiny biological machines, each one with a precise three-dimensional structure. Like pieces of an impossibly complex Lego set, every shape performs a unique task: digesting food, repairing cells, copying DNA. Life depends on these shapes fitting exactly where they belong. And your immune system, it's obsessed with them. It patrols your body, looking at every protein it encounters, asking a single question: does this belong here? If the shape is familiar, it moves on. If not, it prepares to kill. This process is so dangerous, so critical, that your body built a biological boot camp to train its immune cells before they're ever allowed to roam freely. A place of brutal selection, a murder university. Here, every young immune cell is tested. They're shown samples of your body's own proteins, your liver, your skin, your brain, your blood, and forced to react. If a cell shows any sign of aggression, it's executed on the spot. No trial, no second chances. Because one mistake, just one, could mean total war. And yet, sometimes, one gets through. By sheer dumb luck, a single immune cell might survive the murder university with a deadly flaw. It thinks a part of you is an invader, and now it's loose. Right now, as you're listening to this, you probably have a few of those rogue cells quietly patrolling your body. Harmless, dormant, but still there, like sleeper agents. They're not enough on their own to start a war. Not yet. But under the right conditions, they can wake up, multiply, rally others to their cause. And when they do, they won't see your tissues, your nerves, your glands. They'll see enemies everywhere, and they'll attack. So if rogue immune cells already exist inside your body, what wakes them up? The answer is a spark, a trigger, something that screams, "We're under attack." It could be anything: a common cold, a small wound, a stomach bug you barely noticed, even stress in some cases. When something threatens you, your immune system doesn't take chances. It responds fast and violently. Chemical messengers called cytokines flood your bloodstream, yelling, "All hands on deck." Intelligent cells start collecting protein fragments the shapes of the invaders straight from the battlefield. They rush these fragments to your lymph nodes, the war rooms of your immune system. Here, T cells, your most powerful warriors, line up to inspect the evidence. Each one scans the shapes being presented. If they recognize a known enemy, they sound the alarm. The whole army activates. The invader doesn't stand a chance. But sometimes, the worst thing happens in the worst possible way. Maybe one of those protein fragments wasn't from a virus. Maybe it was from one of your own cells' collateral damage in the chaos. Or worse, maybe the invader's protein looks almost identical to something your body makes. Some bacteria and viruses have evolved this trick. They mimic you. They wear your shapes like a disguise. Because in a jungle full of predators, looking like the enemy's child is the only way to survive. And now, by sheer soul-crushing bad luck, that one rogue T cell from the murder university, the one that thinks a normal part of you is the enemy, happens to pass through the lymph node at that exact moment, and it sees the shape, and it thinks, this is it. I've found the invader. It activates. It multiplies. It calls for backup. And just like that, a war begins. Not against a virus, not against bacteria, but against you. Once the war begins, it doesn't stop. That single misguided T cell, now awakened, begins to clone itself by the thousands. It rallies other immune cells. It floods into your tissues. And when it gets there, it sees only enemies. Because the shape it's hunting for, it's everywhere. It's on your nerves, your pancreas, your joints, your skin, it's you. And so the immune system does what it's trained to do. It attacks. It burns. It destroys. The damage depends on where the attack is aimed. In multiple sclerosis, the immune system targets the insulation that wraps around your nerve cells, the myelin sheath. Like biting through electrical wires, this causes signals to misfire or shut down entirely. You feel numb, weak, unsteady. Your muscles cramp. Your vision blurs. Your brain tries to speak to your body, but the message gets lost. In type 1 diabetes, the immune system finds its enemy inside your pancreas, the beta cells that make insulin. It wipes them out completely. Without insulin, your body can't use sugar for fuel. The sugar builds up in your blood. Your cells starve, and your blood turns acidic. In rheumatoid arthritis, the immune system storms your joints. It doesn't just inflame them, it dissolves them. Cartilage, bone, even the connective tissues are broken down. Pain becomes your baseline. And then there's lupus, the most unpredictable, most chaotic form of betrayal. Lupus doesn't pick one target, it picks them all. Skin, lungs, kidneys, brain. It's a full-body blitzkrieg. And no one knows when it will strike next or how hard. Across all autoimmune diseases, there's one shared, crushing symptom: fatigue. Not just tiredness, a deep, dragging exhaustion. Like having the flu. Every day. Forever. Because even though it's your immune system that's attacking, it still tells your body to rest, shut down, conserve energy as if you're sick. And in a way, you are. Only this time, the infection is you. You might be wondering, why would the body allow this? Why would evolution, the force that shapes life itself, let a system so dangerous, so self-destructive, survive? The answer is as haunting as it is human. Because once, it saved us. You see, autoimmune diseases aren't random. They have a genetic component passed down from generation to generation. And the genes that make your immune system more aggressive, they didn't always mean suffering. They once meant survival. Go back a few centuries to a time when plagues weren't history, but headlines. When a scratch could kill you. When the Black Death swept across Europe and wiped out entire cities. Back then, an immune system that hit too hard was better than one that hit too soft. It didn't matter if it overreacted. It just had to react fast. To anything. To everything. And in that chaos of death and disease, those with hypersensitive, overzealous immune systems lived. They survived pandemics, they buried neighbors, they raised families, and they passed on their genes. Genes that today may be hurting you. Modern scientists studied DNA from people buried in plague pits before, during, and after the Black Death. and they found something astonishing. The same genetic variants that increase the risk for Crohn's disease today protected those people from dying back then. It's not a flaw. It's a trade-off. One life for another. Because evolution doesn't design perfection. It only cares about what works well enough for long enough to pass on your blood. So yes, you may carry genes that make you vulnerable to autoimmunity, but you carry them because your ancestors survived the deadliest chapters in human history. And maybe, just maybe, the reason you're here at all is because their bodies fought a little too hard. But your immune system isn't the only part of you that can be turned against you. There's another kind of system, one that doesn't live in your blood, but in your data. Every second you're online, you're shedding pieces of yourself. Your name, your address, your phone number, your habits, your history, your family connections. It's everywhere. And just like the immune system scans for protein shapes, data brokers scan for patterns. They collect fragments of your digital life quietly, invisibly, and they stitch them together into a profile. Your profile, then they sell it to advertisers, to corporations, and sometimes to people with much darker intentions. It's like having your digital immune system, the thing that's supposed to protect your privacy, suddenly start working against you. You may not see it, you may not feel it, but it's happening. And just like autoimmunity in your body, this kind of betrayal can be devastating. Harassment, doxing, stolen identities, targeted manipulation. Your digital self becomes a weapon used on you. But unlike your biological immune system, which can't be rewritten, your digital one can. That's where Delete Me comes in, a service designed to scrub your personal information from the internet's most vulnerable corners. The parts you don't even know exist. The parts that never should have had your data in the first place. You sign up once, and their privacy experts start digging, tracking, erasing. They send you a report within days, where your data was found, what was removed, and how they'll keep protecting you over and over again. You can even protect your whole family, because your loved ones are just as exposed. In a world where your digital self is always under surveillance, it's time to build a defense system that works for you, not against you, just like your immune system should have all along. If this video made you think, share it. If it made you feel like it. And if you want more stories where science meets the soul, subscribe to Inner Mindnut. We're just getting started.